Northern Ireland is a small country on the island of Ireland that's also a part of the UK, and it experienced a 30-year period of extreme sectarian violence known as the Troubles between Irish Catholics and British Protestants. This Troubles ended with the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, and this top picture on my slide is of the authors of the Good Friday Agreement. Notice all of the men. This bottom picture is of a group of currently elected officials. Notice the female representation. As a feminist scholar interested in peace and conflict, I began to wonder, what has happened in Northern Ireland that has allowed so many women to be elected, and what does that mean for ordinary women? So I went to Northern Ireland and I conducted interviews to see what narratives women use to describe their experiences, particularly in the context of the peace process. And their stories surprised me, and I've sorted them into 3 overarching narrative categories. First, the peace process has not been successful. One of my participants said, "I think that if you're not from Northern Ireland and you hear about us on the news, you think that we have peace, but we are far from peace. Okay, maybe we don't have the same amount of bombs, maybe not the same amount of shootings, but we don't have peace." My participants indicated that this lack of peace stems in part from the trauma left over from the violence of the Troubles, and that women are bearing the brunt of that trauma through high rates of domestic violence and femicide, which leads to my second narrative theme. Women need a stronger voice. I was operating under the assumption that because there were so many high-ranking female politicians, that women were having a say in government. And one of my participants corrected me, saying, "A woman's experience has never been considered a valid experience to build policy from here." She went on to tell me a story about a time she asked a senior male politician why none of his party's manifestos mentioned women at all. And he said, "Well, we used to have a saying in my party, the women are here to make us sandwiches, but now the women teach us to make our own sandwiches." Not only did he not answer her question, but he limited women's knowledge base to the domestic duty of making sandwiches. The women who are at the table are still struggling to be taken seriously. And the third narrative theme is that women work together. My participants explained that during the Troubles, women were on the ground, often underground, working together. Because when you're a mother with hungry children to feed, it doesn't matter which side of the conflict you're on. These women pooled their resources and promoted peace on the ground while their husbands and brothers were at war down the street. To this day, the vast majority of peace organizations and cross-community initiatives are ran and operated by women. So why aren't they being taken seriously? It's my goal to take this research with me into my PhD program in Northern Ireland, to continue to gather and analyze these narratives, and then circulate them in spaces where people with power will hear them and take them seriously and promote comprehensive peace in Northern Ireland.